Okay, we are live. Take 2 on Instagram, take 1 on Facebook. I am Enchantress Shane, and I am the founder of the Awkward Academy for men and women to have more enchanted living. And this is 40 days of enchanted living. Welcome, friends from all over the place. Why don't you type in where you're watching from? It'd be really exciting to see. And I work with sensitive and creative people who want more freedom, more self-expression, more self-assurance, more sensual self-expression, and yay, what's up, Ray? And really authenticity. So not just more of these things, but more of it so you feel it and you believe it in your body. So where are you tuning in from? I'd love to know how global we are. Sometimes we have Australia. I have a goddess friend in Australia. And so like somebody signed on from Sri Lanka one day. It's just exciting to know that New York City, we have brothers and sisters all over the world that are like-minded. And that through the benefit of social media, we're not alone. Ohio, OHIO, beautiful. And I see my Rockaway people are joining. Welcome. It's so nice to like have these connections on Facebook. And then, yay, Cali Cal. And then when I go out and about in my neighborhood, it's like there's another instant bond that we feel because you've seen into my brain a little bit, into my soul and my passion. And ooh, Nevada, Honora, it's so good to see you. My yogi changemaker friends up in the house. Welcome. So yeah, if you're just signing on, or even if you're signing on the replay, just share where you're writing from. So today is the 10th day of this challenge. And, you know, showing up every day live is a trip, right? So it becomes this like momentum. And I've been getting such wonderful feedback. Let's see. Yay! Oh, Anita. So I want to just brag and be grateful. If you saw my post, you'll see that bragging is so important. But these were a gorgeous gift from my artist and creative and powerful sister, Anita Teresa. Like, oh my goodness. And if you've seen my house, I have a priestess painting. She is the creator of that painting, which I can't move right now because I'm all rigged up. So I just felt like it's Monday, time to have party earrings on. Okay, awesome. So freedom is something we've been covering for 10 days, all aspects of freedom. And yesterday I had my nephew's celebration, a christening celebration. And I realized that we talked about boundaries yesterday, and you know, kids mostly say the word no, like that's their first word. And it's so powerful how little kids, so I want to recap yesterday. And we're actually going to recap a bunch of days because I think it's important to digest and not just keep teaching. It's so interesting. Just why I keep messing with myself is Instagram has like a mirror view and Facebook has a not a mirror view. So it's like very opposite. So it seems pretty funny. But anyway, so where are you signing in from? That's my question to start. Okay, so we began, let's see, talking about self-consciousness. We began 10 days ago talking about what it's like to be in this physical body and to be self-conscious. And a lot of what people shared was like, they don't always know what their face is doing. And the only feedback they know is when someone says, is everything okay? And they're like, oh my God, what have I been looking like? So because we're sensitive people, a lot of times energy hits us or we see something happening and then some face happens, some reaction. And then somebody will say like something about that reaction. And I speak to so many women who are just like, overwhelmed by the way they take in energy and they don't know how to be around it. And men, I've spoken to men at length. Actually, one man sticks out in my mind, one of my clients, and he was talking about energy. Like he works out, he does all the healthy things, he does even affirmations, all these things, but he still feels like he's exhausted of energy Or when he gets angry, there's so much energy, he doesn't know what to do with it. And so all of that has a look on this outer body that we have, and thinking about kids as they're walking, they're just like, whoa, and they plop down. Maybe they're allowed to be picked up, or maybe they pick themselves up. But they have these unconscious movements of themselves. And that's why I love embodiment so much. It's because we have those moves too, but we think we are controlling them. But think about the people that you see who walk around with a scowl, or who always are like smoothing their hair, always. Like I do it a little bit, static. But the idea that we have unconscious behaviors that we don't always have control over. Welcome, Robert. So it's energy. The people who constantly tap their leg or their foot, or they're always like moving, or the people, I have some goddesses in my world that have all this energy and it's constantly tweaking. And they're not on drugs. It's just an energy that needs to come up and out. And so wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be free of us to harness that energy and use it for a creative project, to share love, to do something? Like I have a lot of energy in my body, and to be honest, sitting for a lot of these lives is quite challenging. I have like shpilchas in my tuchas, and in Yiddish that means like ants in your pants. And God bless my aunt and uncle's dog, whose name was Shpilka because she had so much energy in her body. So if you're not exercising or you're not doing anything physical, it's really important to understand and know that you might have unconscious movements like this. Or, a lot of New Yorkers use their hands. And it's energy. So I'm looking at the freedom to use this energy, right? A lot of people numb out this energy by watching TV, over drinking, overeating, overindulging in things that aren't necessarily healthy or meaningful or purposeful. So that's most of the clients I work with, is they feel a calling, or they feel like I have to do something. I can't just wake up every day and go to this work or this job and not feel connected or like I'm doing anything purposeful. And you'll see a lot of these people on Facebook who get into these verbal disagreements back and forth. And it's like, Jesus, I understand you have a point, but go do something useful. All right. So after we talked about being self-conscious, does anybody have anything they want to share about that? About being self-conscious, physically self-conscious? Here's a cute little tea thing. In every moment of life, you should be what you ought to be. All right, simple. So does anybody have any stories? I also shared some stories about being self-conscious as a young girl. And I remember I got my hair cut really short and I had acne on my forehead. And it was the day that my mother's car wasn't working, so we had to walk to school. And I walked to school literally, I'll use my piece of artwork here, with a mirror in my face, pulling and like pushing and pulling and crying. And I just didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to be looked at. I didn't want to be made fun of. I didn't want to be rejected. And a lot of times our physical self-consciousness comes about when we think like we're not cool enough, we're not ugly enough. That's not true. We're not cool enough, we're not beautiful enough, we're not skinny enough or masculine enough or feminine enough, all these things. So, hey, Jenny. And so we put ourselves down and we don't put ourselves in visible places because it's like, I don't want to be seen while I'm fat. I can't go to my school reunion. People are going to look at me. So then we moved on to vulnerability. And Brene Brown has a beautiful talk on vulnerability and how it's actually our power source. And I have a program called Fuck Your Fears, which really incorporates bringing up that vulnerability, like the stuff that's in the lower diaphragm, the stuff that we've resisted and persisted and pushed away because it's just too uncomfortable to deal with. And this is why I'm a coach and a mentor, is because it is terribly scary to look at those things alone. You actually don't know what to do. Your ego and your younger self gives you limitations like, oh, you're not looking at that. If you look at that, you're going to end up staying in bed for 5 days and not know how to get out of it. And so really getting into the vulnerability in community, in a trusted and safe community, not just anywhere. And also with someone that knows how to guide and lead you. I get all these really beautiful testimonials. I don't even know how to share them. They're so amazing. And a lot of times the testimonials happen while we're in the work. And I work with people on Zoom, so you could live anywhere. And in that moment, they'll say, oh my God, I can't believe this belief was running me for so long. And you just helped me find it. And then all of a sudden, they get a check in the mail from like return taxes, or someone shows up and says, hey, I've been thinking of you. It's like when we move these blocks or jump over the hurdles or slightly even just shift the hurdles, the universe actually puts things in our way. So I was just talking to this woman, and I think we can all relate to this. She signed up for my program starting on November 6th. And then the next day she was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And so the universe will also give you tests to see, like, are you even ready for this? Do you actually believe in yourself so much? And then again, you have the opportunity to return to your commitment and say, yes, I do. Or you can run away. Maybe it's not the right time. But the important thing is to give yourself the opportunity to see the universe, to see God, to see Hashem, Buddha, Allah, whoever you believe in, as giving you tests so that you can take the next step. And there's two roads, right? The vulnerable road, which may lead to some discomfort, but growth every time. Or the comfortable road where you're like, I'm just going to keep doing my thing, keep having family parties, keep getting dressed up, keep having a glass of wine, keep gossiping, keep being mean to the ones I love, which maybe works for some people. Not for me, and I would assume not for all of you. So where are you all watching from? And welcome Instagram. People, sometimes I forget to hit record on you. Okay. Then, and keep typing in the comments because it's really fun to come back and answer them. Hey, David. So then we moved on to looking stupid and feeling accepted. And I talked about community and how important it is to be in a place where it's not just the common interest, but it's a like-mindedness. So I talked about religion and going to a church or going to a synagogue, but people are still talking about each other. They're like, oh, have you seen her? She gained weight. I'm Jewish, so that's a lot of the talk that we have. And I don't go to synagogues because I don't feel loved and appreciated and accepted. And a lot of times there's cliques that have formed. That's not always true, but for the most part, there's a barrier between me feeling totally at home. My total at home is improv acting, hanging out with Emil, you know, in different like sexy spirit places where people are willing to look at their stuff and express themselves and cry and take direction well, and ask questions and focus on pleasure and self-expression and freedom and authenticity. That's why that's in the title. What's up, Emil? So yeah, are you picking up what I'm putting down here? Give me some hearts or an emoji or a GIF. I love those. Those are fun. As you can tell, I really love interaction. And a vulnerable truth for me is when I'm not getting a lot of interaction, I start to get louder and more rah, because I'm like, hello, is anybody fucking awake and alive? So that's what's happening. Every time you see me get louder and bigger, it's because I'm like, people, this is for you. Don't just watch me as entertainment. I really want to know what inspires you, what's reaching you, what's coming up in your thoughts. Even if you don't have the volume on. What do you think of my earrings? Okay, moving on. We talked about leaving people behind. And when you grow, what actually happens? Like when you grow and your friends aren't growing. So I remember when I started doing improv acting, I stopped drinking, I stopped smoking pot. I was just like, self-expression is my new go-to. And a lot of people were confused. They didn't know how to hang out with me anymore. So we'd go to a bar. Maybe the comments aren't going through. We'd go to a bar. We'd go to some social hangout that we had in the past. And I was having fun. But then I wasn't, because they were like, you're not going to have a drink? Oh, what are you, sober now? Like, they started teasing me. These are women in their late 30s, friends. And I was just like, oh, fuck, this is really hard. So then eventually we'd go to a bar because they wouldn't do anything else. And I would just end up standing there, because the antics that come with drinking heavily weren't entertaining to me. And it was kind of sad, actually. So, yeah. So they split, we split as friends, and I hang out with a lot of their kids because they're self-expressed and fun, but it was really hard. So when you grow, when you do something that's risky or edgy, or you start your own business and you quit teaching, or you start your own business and oh, good, a beautiful comment. Or like, I used to be a parent coach, and I'm a behaviorist, trained behaviorist. But then I was like, no, I'm using burlesque and improv acting and working with empaths and creative, sensitive people who want to be more visible in the world. I'm sure people were like, oh shit, excuse me, Shane has really lost her shit right now. We hope that she's going to be okay. And that's nice. I'm sure there were people that were judging me, and still are. But you know what? I'm not everyone's jam. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and everyone doesn't like my program, Fuck Your Fears. Cursing is not for everyone. And I'm Jewish, but I call in the spirits and the angels and the light beings and the divine presence. And, oh, yes, you're bringing up some great shit, Jojo Banks. I'm about to speak about what you're sharing. But I'm here, and everything I talk about, everything comes back to love. Comes back to love. That's it. It's like, my passion is, I'm from Brooklyn. I say fuck as a fucking way to emphasize, not just like for no reason. Okay, so Jojo Banks shares, I've gone through that. I eventually stopped hanging out. Yes, exactly. Like, if people aren't willing to accept where I'm moving in my life, then it's, yay, Jenny, thank you. Thank you for that affirmation. Then there's a missing link, and there's no more hanging out. So the truest of people, and it's not their fault, they're just limited in certain ways. Anybody have limited friends? Put up your emojis. Peanut butter jelly time. Oh my God, do you know that song? It's very funny. And actually, I want to brag that I got into that song pretty quickly. Yes, jealous. Now, jealousy is really interesting, because if we're evolved in that area of seeing what's actually going on, we do see it as jealousy. But I imagine that they're talking about it would be something like, they're fucked up. They've changed. They're different. We can't be friends anymore. So, that's my total projections. But the idea that we are afraid to grow and we might leave people behind may actually get in our way. And that's where shit sucks. Because those people that you're leaving behind, quote unquote, can also be family members. And yes, I love all your input, Jojo Banks. It's great. As I get older, I have different friends for different things. And I had one of those friends really admit to me something vulnerable. And she's like, Shane, you're really good at making new friends. I'm not. And then when she said that, there was something that broke open between us, like a very true connection. Like, no, we can't hang out the way we used to hang out. And I'm fulfilled because I've made new friends. But she's like, I just don't. It's just not my thing. And I'll always remember that, because that was her vulnerability. And that was her telling me, like, this is all I know how to do. So I don't know how to operate with you any other way. Great. So Ray says, I don't do small talk. Bars are so limited with friends. Yeah, it's loud. Everyone there's looking to hook up, which is great if they would just be present to that and be like, hey, I'm here to hook up. Like, you look interesting. Let's get to know each other. I mean, when I've been to gay bars, it is like that. And I kind of like that. What's up, Frankie Rappa? He's taken me, one of my best friends. We don't keep in touch that much, but I remember just going to different establishments with him and watching gay men are very open about their pleasure. And it's so wonderful. But like the men, women, oh my God, every bar, it was like a 6th grade dance. Like, let's get drunk so we could talk to each other. Yes. Great, Jenny. I'm glad you're saying this. Here's what I found, because I think we have similar enough backgrounds. And this is how I want to close. Thank you for the hearts on Instagram. I want to close this acceptance and community part. People adjust. Like being Jewish, I'll talk about that for a second. There's a lot of suffering, right? That's how and who can relate to that? I mean, what backgrounds or religion can't relate to suffering? But very, speaking to my own experience, Jews have suffered, like I have a huge part of my family was killed in the Holocaust. That is major suffering that gets transferred into the cells of my skin and my body. Now, I've done a lot of work with that and releasing that it's not my lifetime and releasing the rejection that came with it. You hate bats. Wait, tell me why you're saying that, Honora. That's fun. But the idea that suffering is how a lot of my ancestors connected leaves me as a child learning that's how we relate, right? Relating through suffering. I told a Jewish joke. I'm going to tell it again because my friend Jessica just showed up and she's funny. There's a Jewish man sitting on the train and he's complaining out loud. Oh, am I thirsty? Oh, am I thirsty? And he does this for like 10 minutes. And then, oh, you hate bars. Yes, beautiful. Thank you. Am I thirsty? And then he's complaining, and somebody hands him a glass of water. Whoop, a glass of water. And he drinks the water. Oh, it's so good. He drinks the water. Oh, he finishes the bottle. He gives it back and he says, oh, boy, was I thirsty. So never celebrating the fact that, oh, I got the water. Thank you so much. So being Jewish comes with a lot of stereotype, but also very true, complaining, suffering about the complaining about the suffering. And so it is my fucking duty on this earth. It is my passion and mission to work with whoever, to work with goddesses and kingly males that are sensitive to energy, that want to be more free, more self-creative, more sensually self-reflective and open and authentic. I was not raised this way. I was not raised to be self-expressed. It's a natural thing. It wasn't really shut down. It just wasn't really enforced. And so the idea that, yeah, Honora, most people, I would assume most people here who are watching are people who don't like bars because it's loud, it's limited, it's judgmental, it's yucky. So I've been going, and I invite you all. I host workshops for people like all of us, but I also go to workshops or I hang out with specific people where I'm allowed to share what's actually going on for me. I mean, imagine when somebody said to you, how are you? That you actually told them. Because sometimes people say to me, hey, what's doing? And I just watch them and I don't even answer and they don't even care. And I'm like, all right, well, fuck it. I'm not even sharing. Okay, so after community and leaving people behind, we talked about play. I love play. Yes, hey, Mindy. There's a goddess that I love very much. So I'm going to do some playing here with you. Welcome. It is the Lingam Penis Cock Show. And I am here today to talk about freedom. What do you have to say? All right, friends. So at any moment, I could pick something up and play. Wow, we have something in common. Bonk. We are both big phallic symbols. But I am very fancy and I am very large. Ah! So if you have all this intellectual stuff going on, hey, PJ, welcome. That was a funny moment. And you don't play and you don't have silliness in your life, you're going to miss out on a lot of things. And play could be an instrument. It could be improv acting. You know, I'm a big fan of the stage, but also it could happen in a moment. So I'm going to give you all a gift right now. Are you ready? And some of you have already done this. If you send me a gibberish challenge, a gibberish video, 60 seconds of gibberish, I will send you a copy of my ebook, From Anxiety to Ease. It's on Amazon. It's $21, where it's free on Kindle. But it's a book I wrote. I use it. It's not just a reading book. It's a workbook. It's an activity book. And if you send me a video on Facebook or Instagram of you doing gibberish for 60 seconds, I will send you that book. Like that. Any kind of gibberish. It's interesting what happens. Like when I just did that, I had all this energy rise in my body. And I got a little contracted. And then I relaxed. So when you get away from your logical mind, that's play. When you do things that don't make sense, that's play. If you haven't signed up, okay, great, Mindy, I want to send you my book. So if you want more of this, go to Enchanted Embodiment and sign up for my, it's a great idea. It's so simple, right? But it can be very confronting. For my Enchanted Inner Circle, and you will get the challenges that start today at 4 o'clock for the Get Your Sexy Back, Fuck Your Fears 5-day free challenge. If you're already in, you already want to do it, yeah, jumping out of your comfort zone for real. Thank you, Mindy. That's exactly it. The paid program starts on November 6th. It's a Tuesday night. And otherwise, we are here to get out of our comfort zone. Thank you for that, Mindy. The permission that we receive only comes from getting out of your comfort zone. It's comfortable to be an alcoholic. It's comfortable to talk gossip. It's confronting to be around people like me. That's why I'm a life coach. I'm not here to make you comfortable. I'm here to make you uncomfortable. I'm here to activate you. Yes. I am here to bring up some yucky stuff so that we could, you know, open it up together, crack open, and then rise up. So if that's something you're interested, oh, I'm so excited, Honora, because life can be exciting. And the truth is, because I'm a life coach, I get the benefits of getting excited too. You know, I'm human. I don't wake up like this. I have a bunch of shit I need to do in the morning in order to wake myself up and to get into a state of this, of giving. Because if I didn't, after these videos, I'd be fucking depleted. And I'm not. Okay. So embodiment, right? Using the body to express yourself. If you're angry, to say, I'm angry. If you're sad, to say, I'm sad. If you're turned on, to say, I want. So I have that muscle in me because I've exercised those emotions. I mean, my dog is even not caring. He's just so used to it. So the embodiment piece is exactly what it was about. I think it was day 8, where it was play and permission and getting out of your comfort zone with your embodiment, right? So it's not just about physically communicating. And I can't tell you how many clients I've been with that when I'm standing there with them doing the energetic work that we do, their arms are crossed, their legs are crossed twice around. And I'm just like, oh, look at this poor soul who's suffering. Let's take a breath and come back, you know? So I'm not here to like push you into discomfort. I'm here to guide you. I'm so fucking excited about. And I'm talking about clients and my programs a lot because there is space in my programs for people who really want to be in them. And right now there's the 5-day challenge. So your mission statement, Ray, is to create chaos in order to help others embrace their shadows. Amazing. And when you say that sentence, and I'm actually going to close after this, your mission statement is really a very perfect example of the masculine energy, not gender, and feminine energy, not gender, where it's scary in the shadows, but with the container of we're here for 30 minutes, we work together for 6 months, you're going to be in my hands and I'm going to be in yours. We're going to help each other move through this so that not one person believes in the process more than the other one. So this is about like fucking blasting your heart open if it feels safe, right? We're never trying to re-traumatize anybody. Welcome, Christy. So I invite you into this world, into my enchanted world, because actually it's really yours. It's the magic and the benefits of being an awake, aware, sensitive, maybe empathic, self-expressed motherfucker, right? So I'm waiting for your gibberish videos. I'm excited for you to join the Enchanted Inner Circle. And if you're not interested in sending me your gibberish videos, you can go to my Awkward Academy and you can get my manifestation. Just sign up for it. And you can also buy the Fuck Your Fears playbook, which is self-study. And I do recommend that if you get the self-study playbook, Fuck Your Fears and Upgrade Your Shit, that if there's something that's you can't do it, move on. Don't let yourself get stuck. Actually, I'm going to add that because that's a really important piece. If you don't already follow me on YouTube, please do. All you have to do is go to Enchantress Shane and you'll get everything. Yeah, and if you want to buy the Anxiety to Ease book, you could just go to Amazon and type in From Anxiety to Ease and you can get my book. Free on Kindle, but $21 to receive it, the ebook. Okay. I will see you at 4 o'clock. If you're in my Fuck Your Fears chat, text me back. And if you're not available at 4 o'clock, that's okay. You get the replay, but you must sign up at enchantedembodiment.com. Fill in the newsletter thing. Whatever, empty spaces. All right, tomorrow we start to talk about sensual self-expression. So, friends, with a little exaggerated, if we were on a date right now, I would say to you, I'm having a really good time and I really want to know what's happening more in your mind. I'm curious. So I'll see you tomorrow at noon. Have a wonderful evening.